Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to Lancer Stud, and today we've got some very distinguished visitors today. We've got Victoria Wright, owner of Caunton Manor Stud, who I'm sure many of you readers or onlookers or viewers will know, and Toni, stud manager at Caunton Manor Stud. And today they've come to visit because I've been pestering Victoria for a number of months now to come and have a look at some of the offspring of her very good stallion Jacondriks, because some of the offspring here by Jacondriks are, in my view, very nice. So we're going to talk about the stallion, which Victoria will talk about, and I'll talk about the offspring, why I've used him on particular mares, and we'll talk a little bit about the breeding principles and perhaps the differentiation between a stallion for breeding and a stallion for competition, and do the two necessarily go hand in hand? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So Victoria, welcome, and Toni, welcome to Lancer Stud.
Well, thank you. Well, it's my second time back here, so thank you for having me back. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Jacondrik foals. I know we've had many discussions over the years, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. It's the first time I get to see them in the flesh, so I'm really excited.
Well, I mean, I guess you don't see them. I mean, you see your stallion, but you know, the semen goes all over the country. And
the semen goes all over the country, and I think people always send you the pictures, they send you videos of them, but there's nothing like actually going and visiting them and seeing them in the flesh, and it's nice to see. It's nice to keep on track of, I think, what all of the stallions throw. I think because then when you're recommending stallions to people, when you've seen them on a variety of different mares, you always want to give people an honest opinion of what to use, because like you know yourself, it's so important. The mare and the stallion pairing is so important. So actually I think it's, yeah, when you actually get to see what different types they throw, going with different things, it sticks in there, and then you know then what you're recommending to people.
And is there advice that you could give to breeders and those who are breeding one or two foals a year, and they're taking a lot of time in choosing their stallion, and what are the things they're considering? Because what you just said here, there are so many variables in a stallion and a particular mare.
Yeah.
What are the sort of things that you think they should consider, Victoria?
Well, I think that the important thing for me, and I know when we breed, you know, if we're breeding our own, is I never go with, and I know you're the same, Marcus, you won't just follow a trend. You'll actually think about what the mare needs, what's important, and what kind of stallion is actually going to go well and go together with that mare. And you know, that is so important. I know so many people that will follow what they think is popular on social media at that time, has the most videos or something plastered about it there and then in that time, but actually it's hot. It's not going to be rideable for what they want it to do. It may not necessarily breed the sport horse or thing like that for what, for what they want it to go and be. So I think first and foremost is actually you've got to look at your mare. You've got to look at your temperament of your mare. There's many mares of the top mares that we have that when we do the embryo transfer, I'd love to be able to say, oh, I can use this one or I can use that one, but actually if I put it with that stallion, it's probably the brain pairing and the, you know, size wise, things like that may not be the best match. So actually I'm going to put it with what I think is going to level out the temperament, create the best combination, and actually breed what I want it to go on and do. I'm not just going to use it because I think that's the popular thing to use there and then at that time.
This popularity or call it commerciality, and on the one hand you're not necessarily going to breed to keep, you're breeding to sell to somebody, and you need a buyer, and that you need that commerciality, so you need someone to think, actually this is popular, I'm going to buy this. The breeding is interesting because you are more experienced than I am. I've been doing it for half a dozen years, and I look at it and I think I haven't got the knowledge that you have to go into it in the detail that you've just described. And I say to those who want to view this podcast is that maybe you don't have to be that knowledgeable, to get lucky in some of these, because I look at the breeding.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got time I have seen Jacondriks, and he's a very nice stallion.
Yes, yeah.
But I haven't got time to visit the stallions I use.
No.
For the jumpers and things and the semen I get from Europe through elite stallions. And so I do a lot of it on paper.
Yes.
And I look at videos.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I get. You start looking at temperament and do I want a bit more this and a bit more that.
Yeah.
I am concerned one's asking and expecting sometimes a little bit too much.
A little bit too much. Yeah.
I don't know, you know.
Yeah, and I think as well, probably expecting too much, but also I think that people, you know, in the UK, we don't have the same foal market that you have in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they have all the auctions, they go for so much money, and you know, they're sort of selling them in the masses. We haven't got the mare pool over here, and two, you know, we haven't got those outlets that you know, people are going to be able to sell them into. And do I think it's something that's missing in this country? Yes,
yeah,
I absolutely do. I absolutely do, because then you have to say to yourself, well, where is the reward in it for breeders? And at the present moment in time, I think the most reward, certainly for me as a breeder, is probably to, you know, produce something that I think is going to go on up through the levels, or to be able to sell a nice young horse. But I know the market really is, I've got to sell them at 3-4 years old for people to want to buy them, because I'm not going to be able to sell them as a foal then therefore to go on. So but actually then again it comes on to whereas I think that, you know, as you've said, when you look on the paper and you're looking at the stallion, you're then looking like you take Jacondrik, Jaguar male, Contendro, Heraldic. You want an event horse, you're actually using 3 of the world's best event sires in one stallion. So your odds are already greater in terms of what you're going to be breeding, and in terms of temperament, in terms of the way that it moves and the way that it's put together. You know, if you're putting that with a mare, then you know, your chance of getting something is already greater. And I think that people will probably look at Jacondrik and then go, oh well, you know, his record's crap, or you know, he's not done this, he's not done that. But I mean, really, I always say with Jacondrik, we completely ballsed up with him. We knew what we'd got as a young horse. We rushed him, just ballsed it up completely. You know, turned him into a circus trick pony, rather than actually producing what was a really nice young horse. And the reality is, if we'd have been in Germany, we'd have sent him through the licensing, and then we'd have stood him at state stud. And you know, because he is a producer, he is a sire, and that really is probably where he needed to be. Nobody thinks twice with Comfort, because he's been and he's done through that system. So then that's fine. That, you know, that's fine for him to do that. And I think that whereas I think here in the UK, people have this perception that they think, oh no, the stallions have got to be out doing something, they've got to be out there performing and doing something, because then it's going to make them be able to sell their foal. The reality is, in the UK, you need to breed something that you are going to have that's easy to back and break, is going to be rideable, is going to be producible, because you're going to have to sell it at 3 or 4, because you aren't going to make 15 grand as a foal in the UK. You're just not, because we're not Germany, and we haven't got the market.
Yeah. And do you have a view on this differential between a stallion that is good in competition and a stallion that actually makes a good breeding stallion? And you know, I can think of many show jumping stallions who have done very well as jumping stallions, breeding stallions, but actually didn't have a career in jumping.
Yes, and there's many. You know, I think you only, you know, take Donahall, one of the most prolific dressage sires there are, didn't necessarily go on and do that much competing, but is without, you know, without him there wouldn't be all the dressage horses that there are that there are today. So I think you know, it makes some stallions are prolific sires and can breed absolutely phenomenal horses, but aren't necessarily the greatest in the competition arena themselves, and to me that's okay. I think that you don't, I think that It's nice when they can, that they can do both and they can have the temperament. And does Jacondrik have the temperament to do both? Yes, he absolutely does. The fact in the competition arena with his record is he probably, for him to go and compete now, he'd compete with the experience of a 5-6 year old, but he's just unfortunately 8-9 years old, so the expectation of where he should be, but mentally in terms of his production, because he's been stop start covering, gone to a stallion show, done this, done that, and where he is probably in terms of performance, it is different, just because he's not been able to have the same normal routine that a normal young horse would have, because he's also had to cover a lot of mares as well.
Very interesting too on comparisons. If I go back on my memory, am I right in my memory that Contender wasn't well competed?
Yes.
And how was he as a stallion breeding?
Oh, phenomenal.
Exactly. So there's one example,
Yeah.
and there are many more. I'd like also to ask you a question about what I call fashion. At the moment, there's a stallion that seems to be used quite a lot for eventing called duplex, and he's doing quite well in all three disciplines.
Yes.
And we can all see that.
Yeah.
And I think I respect that. This is against a background where I think we can all have an opinion. There's no right or wrong in all of this. And what I'm about to say is my opinion. I've got a duplex from last year out of a very nice Tangelo mare, a big rangy mare. And I've called the youngster Squirrel because it looks like a squirrel. But not that impressive. Now that's one offspring.
Yeah.
So don't judge a summer by one swallow.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to note that you see these posts on Facebook. Oh, I've got this very nice foal. I've got this very nice foal. What you don't hear about is the ones that don't look very good.
Yes.
And there'll be plenty of them.
Yeah.
What is interesting is that the ones that I show you today of your stallion Jacondriks, to me, outmatch that duplex offspring.
Yeah.
So it's a great credit, in my opinion, to Jacondriks and the use. Now, I say that against also a background. We haven't yet had any of these youngsters, because they're not old enough yet, who have been to competition.
Yes.
So we're only at very early stages.
Yeah.
But I think that what I see in a foal in its first week, I don't see a lot of change when you start to back at age 4. I see the temperament there. I see the athleticism the same as a foal. You watch it in a field. Earlier on, Toni, you were watching that little foal behind us here, which is by one of Lorna's stallions, Shaka Royale.
Yes.
Out of a de Chalou's mare. And so the foal's grandmother, Dodi de Chalou's, one of the top mares in France.
Yes.
So the dam line is there.
Yeah.
That's a nice foal. So again, the dam line. Are you aware of the detail of Jacondriks' dam lines?
Yes.
And are you able to fill us in a bit on the information there?
Yeah. So obviously on Jacondrik's dam line, so both Jacondrik and Diacondrik are actually from the same dam. Obviously, it's just then different sire. But Cosima herself was a phenomenal show jumper, and actually a Contendro heraldic. So but also she then was by the great mare Hollywood. And what we know is then we had another, I loved the mare Hollywood so much that I actually bought, it was Caunton Cosika that we had. And interestingly, we bought her, and then the Germans were then actually a bit like, why have we sold her to you? Because we want to buy back, because she's the last one that they got out of Hollywood. But the line of that has been prolific in its own right. You only have to look at the Bundeschampionat at how many young event horses, Hollywood that have come out of her herself as the dam, that then have gone on, and I think Andreas Daboski's ridden a couple of them, that then have gone on at the Bundeschampionat and done really, really well.
So she's the Jacondrik's Grand Dam, is that right?
Yeah. Yes. So you know, it's so important, and I always think that when it comes to the dam, is always almost go the 2 generations back.
Agreed.
As well.
Yeah.
Always
I'm
go
with
two, two generations back, and then look, you know, look at what they're doing then on there. I think that's so important as well. But yeah, so we did, and that was why, again, with Jacondrik, because we just thought we just loved this dam line of you know, of what it goes back to. It's so important. So you know, I think that and I would study that on all of the mares, even, and as I say, going back to the mares that we put in with embryo transfer, anything like that, any of our competition mares. If I'm going to buy a competition mare, I'm a bit like you. I like to study the paperwork, and but I like to look at what's not necessarily bothered what's there and there. I like to look back to see what's there and there, because that's so important as well.
Yeah. And that generational thing, I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
And I spend hours looking at the generations.
Yeah.
And not just one back. I go 2, 3, and 4 back.
Yeah.
And I want to see what they've done, and then I look up what they've produced.
Yes.
So I spend hours looking at the various female lines that have come out of those generations and what they've been producing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have tried to focus on is in eventing is using a stallion on my Jacondrik mares.
Yes.
Because there you have stamina and you have endurance.
Yeah.
They're very hardy.
Yes.
So they got, you know, feet like rock cakes.
Yeah.
And actually dressage is not a problem for them by and large. But the challenge would be the jumping.
The jumping, yeah.
And the interesting thing is, I think the best youngster we've got, that I'll show you later, is by Jacondrik's, out of an Jacondrik mare.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And the jump, the loose jump. So we gelded him, and he's 3, and we brought him in because he had an abscess in his foot.
Yeah.
And I'll show you, because he's got a chunk out of his foot at the minute, because it's grown all the way through. It was in the coronet. And so we brought him in, and we sorted that out, gave him a week or 2 weeks or whatever it was. And then we thought, actually, why don't we loose jump him?
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
And
does it jump?
Well, there's a friend who comes here who rides show jumpers, you know, has been to Lanarkern and that sort of thing, so he knows his way around. And he does, he helps me here on a number of things. And he said, bloody hell, what show jumper is that? I said, it's not, it's an eventing one. I've got the video. And I did put it on Facebook last year.
Yeah.
So we did it, we must have done it in November time or something.
Yeah.
So it is on Facebook. And his movement is really nice. And the movement was there as a foal.
Yes.
He's a nice horse.
Yeah.
He's a nice horse.
I mean, it's going to be interesting, because I think that, I think Jake's foals now there'll be some sort of, 4-year-olds. I think people will be 3 coming 4. I think they'll be getting
just
starting to be ready to be able to be produced. So I think
and how do you then get the feedback from wherever they are? Because you can't keep in touch with them all.
No, we can't. But I do like to welcome the feedback. I mean, obviously, it's easy for us within the eventing circles of when there's ones that are going to Burley Young Event Horse, things like that, or that are with riders, then people will always sort of say, we've got a young one by Comfort or Jacobs, and this is how this is doing, and then they'll sort of update us on the progress of that, which is lovely. But I do also, I love it when breeders, like either to me or to Toni, if they send us a video of them or just a photo, just let us know how they're doing. We love that, and it's equally as important for us to see how they're doing, to follow the progress. Like I love was always a question that I always asked, you know, what was their temperament like? What were they like to, you know, how were they to back and break? What was, you know, because even with some where you think that when you sort of bring them in, oh, they could be maybe a bit girthy, or they sort of, when you first sit up on them for the first time, they might not like it when you know, if they look backwards, and they think, because sometimes some of them can have traits that they all pass, and then actually if you know that, or little quirks in terms of when it comes to breaking them in, that then you could say to someone, oh, I'd be interested to see if it does this or that. It all helps.
But then the question I would ask, Dora, does it necessarily depend on the horse, or is it the trainer?
Yes, yeah.
So depending on the skill and how the horse is trained in those early days, does that then set the scene for an element of the rideability?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Of course it does. I mean, it's so important, the environment that they're in. Yeah. And then I think that once then they start the ridden work, the training is, you know, if they were a bad trainer, then of course then it's hard then to judge the rideability, isn't it? Because you know, anything can become. There's some people out there that can make a tricky horse perfectly beautiful to ride and rideable, and then there'd be some people that could make something that you think is actually easy and quite nice, quite, you know, quite difficult to ride. So it's massively important them being.
So there's so much to take into consideration, isn't it? On this breeding and the producing of a young horse, especially with eventing, with the 3 disciplines. Yeah.
I think that we could I think it could be far more regulated though if there were more rewards for breeders in this country, and I do maintain that. I think that we don't, you know, there's not enough in terms of reward for I think for good breeding, good practice that incentivises breeders to want to send them to good places to be produced. And I know I always go back to German system, but that's because that's what I'm familiar with, that's what I've watched and where I've sort of learnt things from, and you know, and spending time over there when I was younger. But everything was from them being in a stud to then the way that they produce, but then they have the young horse producers, and then they go to certain places, and then they are but they're with good young horse producers, and that yard solely does that thing and is notorious for just doing that thing. And then it then goes on to the next person that's then going to take it to the next stage in the career before they then go to that other thing, and all the way through there's young horse championships, so the incentives for breeders rewards, breeders prizes. So it's just a complete different setup and system that I think is lacking a little bit in this country.
And I wonder a bit whether we have too many, a bit like show jumping, whether there's too many young horse competitions.
Yeah.
You know, whether you've got to leave them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Where was the horse recently? Was the one eventing somewhere that didn't start until it was 9 or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Where was that? Was it one of the 5-star? Was it in
one of the 5-star,
America?
yeah.
Was it in Kentucky or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I thought that really interesting.
Yeah.
Should we go and look at
Let's
one
go
or
and
two
have
of the
a look,
mares?
yeah.
Yeah. So I bought her in France, purebred Anglo-Arab, and I bought her on the advice of Loic Gall, who was the breeder at Harris de Huss.
Yeah.
So he took me down to the southern part of France, and she is flamboyant de Vingier, and it's a very good Anglo-Arab dam line.
Yeah.
Hasn't always been great, we've had one or two of the offspring that have been disappointing from an X-ray point of view.
Yeah.
What is interesting though is that I've got a very nice Jacondrik who's up the top of the farm, who we will see later, and he was one I rang you about and said, actually, do you want to have a look at this one, because I'm not sure whether we want to take his nuts off or not.
Yes, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
And he's
that
quite
one.
short coupled, lovely temper. He's nice.
Yes.
Nice. He won't be big.
Yeah.
Probably 16 hands or something.
Yeah.
But he's all right. I like him. And there's another younger one from last year that was born in the field. Very gutsy. So we had to get him out of the field with the other mares, and he managed to scramble, having only just got up on his feet, 800 metres back here. Amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely real full of guts. So I don't know how successful it's going to be with these offspring with this mare, but I certainly like the one up there, and there's one in the pudding.
Yeah.
So there's one to come.
One to come.
Yeah. You're not small, are you? You're not small. You're a big girl. And she is my Freelancer, which was a stallion I bought with Tom March.
I remember Freelancer.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember Freelancer.
And she's the only mare. So he's gelded, so there aren't the offspring. So and to me she's very special.
Yeah.
Because as a mare for eventing, as a size, as a conformation and everything, I really like her. The not so good news was the birth was a nightmare.
Oh no.
Did I tell you?
No, you didn't tell me what happened. Or do I want to know?
Well, no. We can put it on the podcast. But I mean, so we were going fine.
Yeah.
So the water bag was sort of appearing, and
Yeah.
bubble gum or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then that seemed to drag on,
Oh.
and nothing was really happening. And I was getting really anxious, and she was getting anxious, and she's a big girl.
Yeah.
And nothing happening. And I thought, this is going to be a disaster. And then the next thing that's happening, she has an anal prolapse. So this bloody salami is coming out.
Oh no.
And it was Scott's first day. And I said to Scott, right, you get down there and you put that thing back in.
Yeah.
And you hold it in and it does not come out, okay?
Yeah.
Otherwise you're sacked. It's in. But I was really distraught.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. Obviously I called the vet. But that's, any vet is half an hour minimum. And here it's probably more like 45 minutes. Well, it's game over. So we got her up and she went down again. I got her up and I tried to get her down in different sides and still nothing happening. And the minutes were ticking on and going on, and it seemed like an eternity. And then there was one time she got up and she had a bit of a roll. And then a foot appeared. And then another.
Yeah.
And then I got the ropes on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had that bloody thing out as quick
as
as you could
quick
say,
as
Jack
you-
Robinson.
Yeah, as quick as you
But it
possibly could.
was terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely. I mean, you probably experience awful things, as we all do with breeding, because they're not.
It's never. It's the straightforward ones that I think you always. It doesn't matter how many you have, but you celebrate when it actually goes to plan and it's straightforward, don't you? Because, like you say, it can go wrong so quickly.
Yeah. And he was a big boy, clearly.
Yeah.
And we'll go and have a look at him.
Yeah.
And he's big.
Yeah.
He's not going to be small.
But no, she's a lovely stamp.
The interesting thing about her is that her first offspring, there's no reason why you would know the name. There was a horse called Malawi Lancer,
Yeah.
who was third at the Burley,
Yes.
and went to Jodie Amos.
Yes.
And so this is the breeding we were talking about earlier. So he got the breeding prize.
Really?
Yes. So he was by Duke of Hearts.
Yes.
And I've got a full brother in the yard, who's now 5. And you see, she's powerful. Lorna from Elite came, and this is her favourite mare. And I've got a very, very nice Comilfo from her.
Yeah.
And it's the same age as her daughter's Comilfo. So we'll have a look at both of them, and we won't do too many. We're just going to focus on these Jacondrik's relations. So that will be the grandmother.
Yeah.
And I bought her from Holland as a 5-year-old who hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
But a loose jump was interesting, and I played it and played it and played it again. Every time she loose jumped, she took off from the same spot each time. So I thought that really interesting.
Yeah, that stuck with you. That then.
It did.
Yeah.
And she just barges. She's rude, and her daughter's the same. And to me, that's a training thing.
Yeah.
So Duchess can get wild. She's by Duke of Hearts.
Yeah.
Out of a noble dancer, so Oldenburg.
Yes.
And I bought her in the northern part of Germany, right at the top.
Yeah.
And you could be quite blood, can't you? Yes, well I can. I ought to have evented her. I absolutely adore her as a mare. And she's just done us so proud on these foals. And I just, at the moment, I don't want to go anywhere else other than Jacondriks.
Yeah.
And her eldest is, well, is he my pride and joy? He makes me smile every morning when I go and feed.
He's a little cracker.
So he's not too bad, is he?
No.
And there's a reasonable size coming there with those legs, I think. You know, I think anyone would be pleased with a foal like
I
that.
think anyone would be pleased.
And you see why, when we're doing all this breeding, how do you then communicate that foal to the potential users of a stallion for eventing? Why would you not use the stallion on this mare again who bred that? Well, it's Jacondriks. Look at the foal. That's going to be a nice animal.
That's going to be nice. No, you'd be delighted by that. So having seen, because obviously I've seen our own Jacondriks, and seeing yours, it's just the similarities just in the markings, the way they put it, like he's...
Are you getting feedback on the length of leg?
No, I'd like more on the length of leg.
Because that's quite good for that mare.
Yeah.
And her eldest, he's going to be a decent size, as I'll show you later. So we're getting the leg from her.
Yeah.
And she's not a tall mare.
No.
You know, a lot of our mares are quite small. You see, the mare is what, 65% or something?
Yeah.
So, and what's Jacondriks?
70, 75.
So there's a decent amount of blood in that foal.
Yeah.
You know. So you're not going to have a problem getting around a 5-star with that.
No.
And I don't understand why people aren't buying, you know, buy a couple of foals. You know, why wait and pay, you know, 10, 20,000 for something that's been tampered with? And why not actually spend some time going around some studs and look at foals?
Looking at the foals, exactly. But they're stamped similar. All of it. I always think that with Jacondrik's foals, you could go into a thing and I think you can pick them out. You definitely can tell.
I'm going to put you to the test.
You can put me to the test. Is this the bay?
It's the nothing one.
The nothing one.
Not the big one. No, it's this one.
This one.
It's the nothing one.
Really?
Yeah. How did that come about?
Crikey.
So in this instance, from a breeding perspective, to me, this is where has this come from the mare? Because to me, the genes have come through the Jaguar male, through the Jacondriks here. That is more a Jaguar male stamp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily a Jacondrik stamp, what I remember of Jacondriks. But she's a big girl.
Yeah.
She's going to be big. And she's confident. She's the boss.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. New eyes.
It's a Jaguar male head, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jaguar male head.
Yeah. So I find that those traits, if you call them traits, that are coming through, this is what I find really interesting in breeding.
Yeah.
So you can come from that mare and you produce something like that.
Yeah.
And then you know your Jaguar male and your Contendro and things, what's come through. So what's she going to be like? She's confident, she's brave, she's got that bit there. So is she going to be rideable? Is she, you know? Fascinating. So she's pitched against, that's a Casalco, a jumper, and the other three are Edwards by Jacondrik mares.
Yeah.
But as a horse, why would you not want to put her in your box and take her home?
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, if there's any critique, you might say the pasterns are a little bit long.
Yeah.
You know, these pasterns are probably a little bit better, aren't they?
Yeah, the pasterns on this are better. You would argue, you could just say the pasterns are a bit long.
Were the angles okay?
Yeah. No, you wouldn't look, and there wouldn't be too much that you'd pick, and that'd really put. There's nothing that jumps out at you to massively put you off.
And the only one that we've had on the road from that mare was one called Solitaire Lancer that was ridden by Aaron Miller, who he took to, what was it, a 2-star, and then sold it to a young rider. I mean, it did a lot of novices, and that assumes he was doing it to sell, as opposed to. And I didn't rate it. It was one of my first bred by Tangelo, but I rate that one. And why wouldn't you rate that as a youngster by Jacondriks, with Jacondriks breeding?
Yes.
I mean, what genes have you got in there in the mix? You know?
Yeah.
There's going to be some good genes in there. And she very much looks like some stamp from the Jaguar male genes, doesn't she?
Just from the front.
Yeah.
Just from the front.
Yeah.
You could, you know, you.
Do you ever jump any of your youngsters?
Yes. Yeah.
When do you do that?
Usually, we loose jump them when they get to 3. We do it around the same time that we're starting to think about obviously standing them intact, thing like that. Then we'll always loose jump them a bit first, just so that they've got half an idea of what might be coming next. But we do tend to leave them feral while they're young horses. Like obviously, if there's yearlings, 2-year-olds, just turn them all out together. Let them be feral.
Do they? Are you able to have them stay out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd leave them out. We'd leave them together. Obviously, they're all handled as like now. The foals will be on foal slips, and they're being led in and out from the field with their mothers, or then they're.
Oh my gosh, we don't do that.
So we do get them to where then we can handle them, so that at least when they're yearlings, 2-year-olds, when they're out in the field, if we need to trim them or worm them or do anything with them, we can just go up to them and put a head collar on and do. But generally, then we don't like to tamper with anything or do too much. We like to let them be horses.
That sounds very, very well organised.
Yeah.
Because we don't handle them as foals.
Yeah.
And they're out until they're 3.
Yes.
They never come in.
Yeah.
And the only time we put head collars on is when I bring some Claydon fencing, and we put it in the gate or the sit rails, and then we get them in the thing, and then Colin comes and helps us put the head collars on, because he does his horse whispering bit.
Yeah.
Although one of these nearly tried to climb over the top, it was the Jacondrik one on your left, and then that's all the handling they get.
Yeah.
There's one Jacondrik in here. The other 2 are Edwards by the Jacondrik mares, and he's by the big mare.
The first mare that we saw?
The one that had an anal prolapse.
Yes,
it was him.
Yes.
And he's quite a dear boy.
Pretty. Got a pretty head, hasn't he?
But he's not going to be small. And I don't know what head that is.
Small, is it?
No.
Because it doesn't look Jaguar male-ish.
No. I'm trying to think what is coming through more in this one.
I've never seen Contendro. He was a big boy, but quite bulky.
Big boy.
He was bulky, wasn't he? Thick neck.
And the neck, he's with Contendro.
You haven't got a Contendro neck, have you? And he's not grandmother Cantorano. I don't see that. Although Cantorano produces size.
Yes.
But apparently.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm pleased. I'm not disappointed with him at all. We'll see what comes out in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult as yearlings though, isn't it?
I always think as yearlings, they're always up their worst, aren't they? They're ugliest as a yearling. Yeah, that's when they come through to flourish at 2, and they go through the ugly duckling stages, a yearling.
So
He's gonna be a good
again,
boy.
so the 3 we've looked at, the foal, and the filly, and the colt, you're going to put them in your box, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you ticking the box for Jacondriks or not? You are.
You are.
Yeah.
so far in the view, I think that
You're happy?
I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I'm happy to see the stamps come through in all very similar behind, certainly from the ones we've bred of our own as well. Like, they're very, very similar. And I think that what's nice is that the stamp of him is coming through in a variety of different mares.
Okay.
That's what I think I'm really pleased about, is the fact that every single one which I've seen, I'd say, yeah, I'd put that in the box, I'd take that home, I'd want that running around in the field. And they're all so different. The lines that you've put them with, they're all different. The mares are different.
So I don't know what that says about breeding. Does it say, well, actually, there's a capable breeding stallion here that on the first three we've seen are very different mares.
Yeah.
And actually the offspring, in all three cases, look nice.
Yeah. And then it goes back to your point that you made right at the start of actually, well, when you're studying paper and you look at the breeding, you look in detail at all of the breeding within that actually, if that ticks all your boxes and that's good, because are you actually, by using such good sires throughout that, and that you even on the dam line side is so good, that then actually are you covering all bases to suit those variety of mares.
And in addition, what I'm seeing here on those three is genes coming through Jacondriks that is delivering nice progeny.
Yes.
Because we haven't got progeny that look like the dams. So the genes are, to me, we're coming out of the gene pool through Jacondriks.
Yes.
The mixture, this filly here looks very much Jaguar male-ish.
Yeah. How many people do you think are still, when they're trying to breed the perfect event horse, are probably still trying to breed the perfect event horse for the steeplechase and the roads and the tracks and the way eventing used to be? Because actually now eventing's changed so much that you've got to have something that moves like a dressage horse, because I mean it's so competitive to be right leading up there and right the thing. You've got to have something that moves. And I always think that there's probably that's where I think there is a difference as well, because there's the Badminton Burley's horses that you can try and breed where you've got your proper 5-star horses. That's a different entity. But the championship horses that are going to go to the Olympics or the Europeans or things like that, they're different to your Badminton Burley types. Okay, yes, there's the freaks, don't get me wrong, and the superstars that can do everything, but you really, what we used to breed then to what we're breeding now is a complete separate thing. They've got to be able to leave the poles up and they've got to be able to move.
But you can't have an industry that's breeding for 5-star events.
No.
There's only a handful of them.
Yeah.
And only a very few will get to that level for obvious reasons. And then you get some to get
sound
to
at it.
Yeah, well, they're probably full of injections.
Yeah.
But then there's horses like Vitali, where the industry seems obsessed with getting a horse like that to 5-star, but it can't jump. And then you think, well, what's the point of spending all that money? This is just a personal view, knowing that you're going to have a number of poles down at the end, and it's like playing snakes and ladders. Then you go down that snake from the top of the ladder board and go all the way down. It must be so frustrating. So frustrating. The jumping, one pole, you're going down that snakes and ladder. So the jumpers are trying to do here, if we've got Jacondriks that I'd want those genes that are coming through. So we've got the blood, we've got the dressage coming through, and we've got the jumping. The genes are all there in those 3 stallions, and look at what you've articulated earlier today on the dam line, going through his dam line. Well, genetically, why would you not use him?
Genetically, there's no reason why you wouldn't use him.
And he's in the UK, he's not expensive, and it's fresh.
And he's central in the UK, he's at Oakham, it is available fresh, and yeah.
And you've even got Toni who'll get on a box and take the stallion to have it done specially,
Oh, she'll meet
so
you in
that
LA
Lancer Stud, so that Lancer Stud can have fresh semen. So he's a Duchess baby,
Yeah.
but he looks like a Duke of Hearts.
It does look like
He does
the Duke of
not.
Hearts.
He does not look like any of the Jacondrik's genes. It looks like the mother's father, the Duke of Hearts.
I gotta say, it doesn't
That's
look like.
probably why.
Yeah,
He's the
doesn't look
splitting
like, I don't
image.
think I have to take back in the terms of the stamp, because I don't actually think Jacondrik stamped this at all.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I
that's
don't
a Duke
think
of
he has-
Hearts.
yeah.
To me, that's come through the
That's
dam
come
line.
through the dam line.
Because he looks, if you look on the internet, he's dead now, but if you look at the
Yeah.
Duke of Hearts, he looks like a Duke of Hearts.
Yeah.
What's really interesting to me is what we've seen, and here is a horse that I really like, but he's a Jacondrik's, and what seemingly has come through is the
the
stamp
yeah.
of the sire of the mother.
Yeah, I would have said that he would have stamped them all, and I would have said that of the mares I've seen of our own, but this, absolutely not. No, this is the dam line completely.
But it doesn't take away for the type of horse.
No,
'Cause I
doesn't
bet
take
you he
away from the
jumps.
fact that it's a beautiful, beautiful horse.
And the Duke of Hearts, my own rather pessimistic view, having been keen on the Duke of Hearts, is downgraded because apart from the one we sold, Malawi, who I think's okay, and Magua, who we've got in the stables, I think can jump, but most that I see with Giovanni, Ugaletti, and so forth can't jump.
Is this from it? Sorry, darling. Is this from an Aquateki?
No, this one's from the mare with one eye,
Ah, okay.
by the thoroughbred Mildenberger.
Yeah.
And I really like him. He was wonderful as a foal, real character, and I think he'll. He didn't winter very well, but they look a lot better now. I like him. And then the one at the back is Mildenberger by our nothing Branko van Overis mare. But actually, he's all right.
Because he's really quite bold and in your face, and
Jake's
not.
not.
But that's Duchess.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's
Yeah.
probably why I was like, don't know.
And these are two, so he's not going to be that small.
Yeah, he's quite leggy, isn't
Very good limbs. Nice in the chest as well, isn't he?
Lovely chest, yeah. Do you like that deep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Would
Yeah.
you argue it's a bit short in the neck compared to the
Yep.
rest of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm never sure about that. There was one I saw in Ireland, You Dance a Hero, who I wanted to use for breeding, and I think he was originally owned by Luke Henry, and he was very short in the neck. He couldn't eat grass without spreading the legs.
Because Jacondrik himself would have that contendro long neck. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, everything that he
Yeah.
is not.
Yeah.
He's in your face, this one and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
mean. And
He's got the food out of my hands before I've got
Yeah.
it in the tub. You know, you're not shy, are you?
No, he's not shy.
No. So his full sisters, they're normally in the sandpits. One of them, Scott Still, she's 6. We haven't got her out to an unaffiliated yet. But he wants to keep her.
Yeah.
He's smitten with her. And then the half sister, I don't understand it. You know, we've taken her to a couple of events, and we've had very few takers to sell. A perfect one for a young person going from ponies. And how many of those exist in the UK?
Yeah.
How many people go to Ireland thinking they're going to find something?
Oh, loads.
What? Why do you need to go to Ireland?
Yeah.
You're in the UK. Have a look in the UK.
Yeah, have a look what's here.
You know, have you been to Caunton? Have you been to Lancer? There are plenty of other studs you can go to in the UK. All you got to do is get in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, see, he looks like some of the ones that we've got at home. To
Oh, I
me,
love him.
that's
I love him.
that's a Jake.
He's just very capable. He doesn't know it yet,
No.
but he's got everything's there. But the only thing I don't know about is, which we won't know on the Jacondrik's ones, is obviously what they do with the brain once we get going.
Yeah.
So he's 3. What have you got as the oldest ones? 4, did you
4.
say? Yeah. And then, have you seen any of them
No,
unaffiliated
haven't
or anything
seen
yet?
any
It's a
of
bit
those.
early.
Bit early
Yeah,
yet, but
Yeah.
athletic,
Yeah.
very.
And he's got a nice mover. Yeah. Really pleased. Really pleased. So at the moment, with what we've bred from your stallion, and there's the little ones, which
Yeah.
we've discussed, name me any of the others that you wouldn't want to put in a box.
I wouldn't. I'd take all of them.
Yeah.
Take
would,
all
I
of
would.
them.
So if I was on another stud, I'd do the same. And this one, which I think is the best one, is from an Jacondrik mare.
Really?
Didn't I not tell you that?
Pardon? Well, no, you said that there was the Jacondrik mare. You
The one
told me
behind
that.
the barn.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the mother. So what are we saying about the breeding of Jacondriks then? You know, we're getting some of this Jaguar male Contendro heraldics, this mishmash. We're getting the genes coming through, aren't we?
We are. But I think with the other one where we thought actually no, there's no similarity at all, then the dam line must be seriously strong. Because that other one that we just looked at, that was the mother. When you said that that's the mother, you were like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's cracking.
Isn't he nice?
Really nice. You can see him galloping.
Oh, the movement's lovely. And that trot is a lovely bouncy trot. There's not, you know, he's the opposite to that pony trot. And then we'll go and look at the last one,
Yeah.
which again is by the Anglo-Arab.
Okay.
There is 2.
Yeah.
These are 3.
Yeah.
He's gelded as well. And he was the one I telephoned you about.
Yes.
So we'll go up
Is
here.
he
Yeah.
down here? Yeah. Then you were not sure that this is the one that you said should I cut it? Should I not?
I just thought he'd be very interesting as a I really liked him as a foal. I don't think he'd be that big, and I thought he'd be interesting from a market point of view.
Yeah. He's lovely.
Nice.
So and he's by the Anglo-Arab.
Yeah. You can see it in the face.
But he's nice, you know.
He's very nice.
He won't be too big,
No.
you know.
Compact
And there's probably a market for him. This one is Rocky's half brother, who's by Mildenberger and came out.
Yeah, that looks
He came out a Pippin. It's very small, which is why he's called l'enfant. But he's a dear boy, isn't he?
He's lovely.
And he'll be a lovely first horse off the
horse,
ponies
Yeah.
with 70% blood. And I'll bet you there's a jump there and movement will be fine.
Well, I think he'll have a body like a book. I mean, he's short and compact
Yeah,
as well, isn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
Which will mean that he'll canter and
Yeah.
jump like that.
And so, and there again is the Anglo-Arab breeding and the cross with Jacondriks, which is, you know, where do you find that sort of thing in this country for a young eventer?
But you wouldn't.
And for a child going from
yeah.
a young teenager going from ponies, you know, temperament, he's lovely.
But if they saw it in a field in France,
Yeah, they'd probably buy him, take him
buy
home.
him, take him home. When you've got one in a field here in the UK.
Yeah. So that's 2 more Jacondriks that you've seen. So that's all the Jacondriks that you've seen.
Yeah.
So how many are you not taking home?
None. I'd take all of them.
And I would agree.
Yeah. And I would encourage people to come here and visit you, Marcus. I really would. I think in terms of if they're looking for a young horse or they're looking, because you can, like Tony's just said, you can see the generations through, which is you can't do anywhere else.
Well, my point, you know, I've been saying for months to mostly talking to Toni because you're obviously very busy. The key here is I've been more and more passionate as the months and the years have gone on in these past 3 years of what Jacondriks have produced for us. And you know, it's not, I don't think you're saying you'd take them all home because you own Jacondriks.
No.
I would do the same. And I'm not saying that because I bred them. These are nice horses. And that has to be a lot to do with the stallion. You can't ignore that.
Yeah.
The mares are okay. Some of them are good. But Jacondriks is producing the goods.
And it's interesting, like you've said, that he's throwing not exactly the same as him. It's his generations before him and all his breeding thrown. And to be fair, I think there's only the one up here, down there, that is, I would say, 100%
The dam line.
Dam.
Yeah.
His mum. The rest, all you can see in them all, have traits of him, but are all very different. I know obviously they've used different mares and things, but yeah,
But
it's
where else
interesting.
do you go, other than what I've learned about your new stallion today, where you've got that breeding of Jaguar male Contendro Heraldics, and in anyone's breeding program, and if I look at Aventus and I want to use a mare that's a jumper or movement or whatever, why would I use anything else other than Jacondriks? Now I could go to something like Duplex, we were talking about earlier. But Duplex is not in this country, so it's not. We're not into this British breeding thing. Well, why aren't we supporting studs in this country? And I think with the lines that these ones have now got in their blood, of those 3 stallions, and what we ought to talk about more is Jacondriks' Dam and Dam, especially the Dam. They are very good lines.
Yeah.
And where you got that on both sides, I just, and what we've got in practice here, then I'm sorry, I can't vote against Jacondriks. You vote for him every time, without a doubt. So I hope that helps, and I hope it's been worthwhile you coming to see your stallion's progeny.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us to come and see them. It's been so interesting for us to do that, and as I say, to get the opportunity to do that, and as I say, and thank you for seeing the stallion like Jacondrik. I think for what he is on paper, and that I hope will one day be a very, very prolific sire. Yeah.
I think it's and I would, as a personal thing, I would have more media stuff, like I would have people volunteering to put their Jacondrik's Offspring on a site. So you would have these ones parked on the site. So you get the ones that aren't quite so good. It's going to happen in any form of breeding because you don't know where the mare is. So you want the mare as well.
Yeah.
So you want the mare and the progeny, whether the progeny is a foal or 2 or whatever, and get them on a site so people can see. And I would like to see that more in the breeding, and get the dams on the site so people can see what you're breeding with.
Yeah.
Okay, what's it crossed with and what does it look like?
Yeah.
And you're quite welcome to have videos if you want them, videos or photos of what we got here with the dams.
Yeah, that's one
So you can put
question
them
that
on your
we've been
site.
asked a lot is on the site, could there be a breeders page where people can put what they've bred, what they've
Really?
used, what they think, and I think that, having this conversation now, there's a need for it.
Yeah.
There really is a need for it.
I think those that want to do this breeding seriously, you want to look-see.
Yes.
And then you look-see, and then you say, where are they? And then if you're really keen and really interested, then get in the car and go and have a look.
Yeah.
And if you can't be bothered to do that, then good luck during the breeding.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't cry foul if they don't come out right.
No. The one that we've just seen before is my favourite.
The Jacondrik one.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I'd be really thrilled.
Yeah.
That looks a athletic blood hardy sort.
So my next job before tomorrow night is to send you the video.
Yes.
I'll do that. And it is impressive
Yeah.
because if we do them, we give them a sort of a little jump on day 1, and day 2 we jump them, that's it. So I won't do more than a couple of goes. because I don't believe if you press them too hard at that and their muscles aren't tuned to jumping, they're not trained. Well, if you do that to a human, what's it going to do? You're going to pull things left, right and centre.
Yeah.
Well, why do you expect a horse to be okay when it's a plains animal? You know, it runs, it doesn't go in circles, it doesn't do pirouettes, it's not meant to be jumping over things. So we're quite careful on that. We're not very good at it. I mean, we just stick the jumps there and go for it. But I think you'll be quite proud of your
I'd be
fellows,
quite proud. I'd be pleasantly surprised. Having seen him though, I don't think I will be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, I really like him. Really
But
liked
you wouldn't
him.
have thought his mother be Jacondrik, would you?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, that concludes the viewing, ladies. We can go back. We can go back this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you remember where you're going?